You're a good painter. You bought good brushes, gazillion of paints. You feel your miniature painting could get to the next level. The painting exercise in this video might help you become a better painter. Hi, I'm Don. Welcome to our studio. This channel is supported by all these awesome brands. Also, special thanks to The Army Painter for making this video possible. It's such an honor to be part of this Wargamer Games painting competition, and again, thanks to the Army Painter. Today we're painting Argon, this plastic miniature that came from the Fanatic Wargamer paint set will be my entry for the Wargamer Games painting competition. And that competition will be judged by the Army Painter and the Army Painter team, and I guess they will announce a winner or something. So this project is extra special. In this video, we're going to do just value sketching. So we're painting with black and white and grays, a bunch of grays. Because of course you could paint with just black and white and you mix the colors and you come up with different shades of gray, and then you do the value sketching. So value sketching is one of those topics that I offer to online classes with my patrons. My patrons are good painters already. So most of the time I design a painting process for them. Like for example, Marco, he would need a painting of some ogres, like a bunch of ogres. He has an ogre army. And he would tell me what paints he will use, like acrylics and oils, or just oils, and then I will design a painting process that would yield pretty good results but won't really eat up too much of his time. So it's mostly designing painting processes that are efficient but would yield good results. Value sketching is not a practical way to paint tabletop armies. It can be time consuming. And of course, you could just airbrush your army with a quick zenithal, or you could do slop chop, and that's way faster. Value sketching is something that a painter who wants to improve his painting should need to do. It's more of an exercise, a special project that is perfect if you want to level up your painting, because you will learn a lot with value sketching. I always tell this to my patrons, three of the most important parts of painting a miniature is contrast, of course, contrast, lighting, and textures. And with value sketching, you get to, since you're not dealing with colors, you're not using colors, you're just painting with black and whites, you're focused on creating contrast and volume and the lighting of your painting, and of course, creating textures. Since you're not dealing with colors, you're more focused on creating those, establishing those elements of your painting, which is a really, really good exercise. Again, especially if you want to level up as a painter. To be clear, we're talking about black and white value sketching in this video. Since layering is also value sketching, although you're using colors. So creating or building up your contrast with black and white value sketching is easier. Technically, black and white are not colors, but that deserves another video. Now it's so much simpler to build up your contrast with black and white value sketching because you know that white is your brightest paint and black is your darkest color. And all of the grays in between black and white are your potential base colors. They are also your same paints that you will need to build up your contrast. Of course, you could mix black and whites and grays to create more values, but still you're limited to just grays and blacks and white. This same limitation will help you focus more on building up your contrast. If you are a long-time subscriber, you know that my main source of light is always on the top left of the miniature. With black and white value sketching, your key light areas would be the light grays. Your ambient areas could be your medium grays or even dark grays. And of course, your shade areas would be the darker gray colors mixed with black paint. There is a bit of redundancy when just doing black and white value sketching because your dark gray color like the deep could be your base color for the leather parts, and then they are also your ambient lighting in a way. But then again, when you get the hang of it, you get used to like doing value sketching, you'll appreciate that this limitation will give you more like you'll be more aggressive with your painting. You'll be more aggressive with your painting, or shall we say a bit more relaxed, since you're building up underpainting, which will not be your final colors. Painting textures with black and white value sketching is practically the same or feels the same even if you're using colors. You will do swift linear strokes and scuffing on the wings and the scales. You will do softer stippling on the skin of this dragon. You'll do like wavy circular strokes on the coins on the base and of course the groundwork. So it's practically the same when you're using colors. It's just that it's so much more obvious since you're just painting in black and white. Of course, you could do value sketching with your airbrush, but I find that boring. Or boring is a bad word. So I find it like less fulfilling or less like engaging. I don't know, but I just enjoy painting with the brush a lot more than using my airbrush. But like I said, you could do value sketching, you could practice your value sketching with the airbrush. Dry brushing or slop chop is also value sketching. However, similar to airbrushing, I just prefer using my brush. Also, I think it's obvious that you kinda have a little bit more control when just using a normal brush. So is value sketching worth it? Now before our video ends, a huge thanks to all my patrons at Patreon, also to Hajime Model Studio, and of course the Army Painter for making this video possible. So is value sketching worth it? It is as an exercise, but it's not practical to do it with every miniature painting that you're doing because it can be very time consuming. As a painting exercise, black and white value sketching can help you focus more on the building up of your lighting, your contrast, and the painting of textures in your miniature painting. Since you are not using colors, you're not painting with different colors and tonal values, you're just focused on your very limited palette of grays, you will learn how to utilize this limited palette, and eventually as you get used to doing value sketching, especially as an exercise once in a while, you will be a better painter. I must admit, this dragon miniature is not the perfect model to show value sketching because we only have the leathery wings, the scales, the claws, of course the base and the flame. The flame are soft because we use an airbrush. The leathery wings has scratches so that we could show more texture. There are different texturing on the base, and of course there are very sharp highlighting on the scales. But I think we need to create another video with a normal miniature so that we could show the different values on non-metallic metal, hair, leather, and skin. But then again, I hope that you saw and I was able to tell you the value, not the value, but the importance of doing this exercise of painting in black and white and doing value sketching so that you could potentially improve as a miniature painter. I am confident that after maybe a couple of black and white value sketching exercises, you will have a firm grasp of creating contrast, building up texture, and establishing the lighting when you're painting miniatures. So tag me at Instagram if ever you do this value sketching exercise and I want to see your work. That's it, Pansit. I hope you like this video. Do like, comment, subscribe, and all that stuff. Until next video, guys. Bye.
2, 1.